recorded.
Good evening, everybody. This is a regular meeting of the Vader City Council. It is August 30th, 2023, and the time is 6:03 p.m. Roll call.
Mayor Joe Shai.
Here.
Janet Charlton.
Here.
Jason Daly.
Jason did ask to be excused.
Randy Hall.
Here.
Mike Parsons.
Here.
And Michael Ferguson.
He also asked to be excused. We have a quorum. Pledge of Allegiance. Mr. Clement, will you do the honors?
Sure. I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Mayor's report, the street work update. The chip seal is still on schedule for September 15th with the final fog seal the Friday after on September 22nd. Worden Park RCO grant, the final inspection is taking place at the end of next week on the 8th. We don't expect any issues with that. We've got some of the last, obviously all of the accessories have been installed. And today, John got the new basketball hoop up installed, which is pretty fantastic. So we have the ADA access ramp to the playground yet to install, but should all be done in time. Worden Park equipment, there was one of the new pieces of equipment we had, one of the seesaws was broken. Looks like there was a poor weld and then some of the bolts broke. So we've got that in the shop and it's fully warranted, and so we'll get the parts for free. Law enforcement update, Toledo wanted to let us know that they've hired their second law enforcement officer now. That officer happens to reside near Vader. In Vader, so, and so they wanted to let you know about that.
He could
And
have been
then,
ours. He could have been ours. He lives in Vader, that's awesome.
2 houses from your house.
don't do an update.
Yeah.
And
Oh.
and then the second law enforcement update, I'm still working on that report to council regarding various costs and things like that with the sheriff's department. Water system conversations with Lewis County regarding agreement extensions. Actually just had one just a few minutes ago with Commissioner Brummer, who's here tonight with us. And we've got some more discussions coming up in the coming weeks. And there's a new business downtown, the Handcrafted Merchant opens in September, and I believe the business owner is here to talk in just a little bit about that. And I also hear that the Tracks Bar and Grill is going to be opening up on Friday this week, so in a couple of days. So pretty exciting.
I just wanted, on the water system
Yes.
conversation, that's like getting our water back?
Correct, water.
conversation?
Yep.
Okay.
Receivership issues. Yep. Any members of the council have anything to report? None? All right, I do not have any changes to the agenda. If someone would like to motion for approval?
I'll make a motion, we approve the agenda for the city council meeting for August 30th, 2023.
We have a motion by Ms. Charlton to approve the city council agenda as written. Do we have a second?
Second.
Seconded by Mr. Hall. Discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
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 Any opposed? Motion carries. Minutes approval.
I'll make a motion, we approve the minutes from the city council meeting for August 16th, 2023.
We have a motion by Ms. Charlton to approve the meeting minutes for August 16th, 2023. Do we have a second? Seconded by Mr. Hall. Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
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 Any opposed? Motion carries. Voucher approval.
I'll make a motion, we approve the vouchers total for August 2023, $91,414.60.
We have a motion by Ms. Charlton to approve the August voucher total as written. Do we have a second?
Second.
Seconded by Mr. Hall. Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
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 Any opposed? Motion carries. Moving on to special reports. Do you please come forward? I'm sorry, I don't remember your name.
That's okay. So on Friday, I am opening up the Handcrafted Merchant. I'm very nervous right now. It is a place for our local community in Cowlitz and Lewis County to sell their handcrafted makes. Whether it's, I've got a honey guy, I've got a guy that makes metal art and crochet, there's all kinds of stuff. But we want to have a grand opening and we want to do it in October on the 28th. We want to close down the street from 506 to the church there at 8th Street. And we want to find the street on the sidewalks with tents so that we can pass out candy to the kids. We wouldn't be selling anything on the street, except I do want to invite a few food trucks, and I have a photographer lined up to take pictures as the community would like. That's
What day was that?
the 28th of October.
Right before Halloween.
And we would be planning that for 5:30 to 7:30. Hopefully that is a good time.
Saturday?
I'm not sure yet quite.
Saturday?
Yes.
What'd you say, 5:30?
5:30 to 7:30. I've got all of my vendors except for one that have agreed to be able to be available. And then I'd also like to invite the community members to set up their cars and stuff too. It's really more about showing everybody what we've got and who we are and saying hello. So that's my request.
Yeah, it's great. And we can put together the right documents for council to approve in the coming meetings and things like that. Especially if you work with the clerks at City Hall. There's a little bit of paperwork.
Yeah.
But other than that, I think that sounds like a great idea. Maybe Parks Board could get involved a little bit or somehow too. So
Okay,
sounds super.
What was your name?
Marlena.
Marlene? Marlene or Marlena?
Marlena.
Okay.
It's spelled like Marlene.
Okay. Awesome. That's exciting.
Can I say that?
You can sit.
Welcome.
Thank you, Marlena. Thank you. We'll be in touch. Speaking of the Parks Board, Kelly Shai, Parks Board Chairman, had some information for council.
Hello. I just wanted to let everyone know that we are going to be applying for what's called the LPM grant through RCO. It's a no match. You can ask up to, it's minimum $35,000 up to $100,000, and it's for what they're calling a deferred maintenance program, for deferred maintenance. And they have their list of items and things that are and are not allowed. And we had a meeting, a discussion with John and in the office today about where the focus should be. And so right now at this point, because there's a lot of maintenance that is hard for us to get to for the concrete bathrooms that we have at Worden Park. We need those kiosks to be updated and looking nice and everything. Again, we have a really big running list that we're working on getting estimates and stuff for. So anyway, I just want to let you know that that is something that we're working on right now, and that in the next couple of weeks, there's probably going to be a resolution, which is for the RCO requires that council approves that we're allowed to go ahead and apply for the grant. And so I think it's in the next few weeks that we'll be getting that to you guys so that you can approve it. So just want to give you a heads up on that.
Are you going to be at some point showing us the list, your list you have
Yes.
going? Okay,
Yeah.
awesome.
Oh, definitely.
Okay.
Right now we're just, we really narrowed that list down, and it was like bouncing back and forth between what we're allowed to do, what we can do, what's considered to be deferred maintenance by the state standards. And there's some really cool, exciting things we could do. A lot of it is really boring stuff, but it's stuff that has to happen. That's harder for us, like the roof on the pavilion at Worden Park. So that's one of the things, and it lets you do multiple things in there as long as it falls within that 100,000. And it's a quick turnaround too. The due date is September 18th to submit the application.
Oh, wow, that's quick.
Yeah, and they just did a whole workshop on it August 15th. So it hasn't even been open for very long. And then after that, we'll hear like by the end of November, and they'll start, end of November, yeah, end of November. So between November and December, they'll start awarding for the projects under that tier, because there's different kinds of projects. We're going with the easier that we need, that will allow us the fastest turnaround to be able to start working on some of those maintenance items. Yeah. So
I can't wait to see the list.
yeah. And Kristen is going to be doing a lot of research and reaching out on those estimates over the next few days too, because we have to get that submitted in at that 18th date, and that's coming up pretty darn fast.
And who's the grant through, Kelly? I missed that.
It's RCO, it's the Recreation Conservation Office.
State.
It's a state, yeah, it's a state grant or a state department. And everyone is really, really excited. Like when I say everyone in the state's really excited about it, because again, it's a fast turnaround and there's no matching grant monies required. So yeah.
They must have an excess amount of money. I've been getting grant notices, and it's like amounts that I've never seen.
A lot of departments were awarded like an additional special thing to try out, and this is not this is a project, or sorry, a program that they said after the next 2 years, they don't know whether or not that will actually be available. So it's kind of like a trial grant program that they're doing. For the more complicated, they had what they called tier 1 and tier 2, but we're working on is called the tier 1 project, which we don't have to get environmental surveys, and we don't have to wait for coastal resources and stuff. Yeah, because that costs more money.
And time.
Yeah, exactly. And those tier 2s wouldn't be released until the following year. So
Awesome.
I think June 26, 2025 is like when everything needs to be done and turned in and stuff.
That's plenty of
So
time.
yeah, it's cool though. So we're still working on some stuff, trying to get that finished up, and then we have lots of other projects and things that we'll be able to update you guys on after we have our next meeting this upcoming September. I can't believe we're in September already.
Thank you for all you do, Kelly.
Yeah, no
Your
problem.
crew.
Thank you. Is there any questions or anything else? No? Okay, thank you.
All right, moving on to city business. Item number 1, council consider resolution 16, 2023, the planning committee appointment of TL Nicole Emanuel. She said she'd be here at 6:30, so I did talk too fast, but no, we can still approve the resolution if council seems fit. If you remember, Nicole was here at the last council meeting.
Oh, yeah.
I had a great conversation with her after the council meeting. Very sharp lady.
Yeah.
I do not have any reservations at all submitting her to you for your consideration.
Yeah, I think that's a good choice.
So,
So I make a motion, we consider the resolution or pass the resolution, or what's your wording you like?
approve.
Approve. Approve resolution 16-2023, planning committee appointment of TL Nicole Emanuel.
I have a motion, Ms. Charlton, to approve resolution 16, 2023, the appointment of Ms. Manuel. Do we have a second? Seconded by Mr. Hall. Further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
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 Any opposed? Motion carries. Oath of office. So Mr. Prees was nominated in planning committee a while back. Planning committee hasn't had a meeting in the last couple of months, just for lack of information or topics at that point. So he hasn't actually been sworn in, so let's do it.
And what's this for?
Planning committee.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Tom's on planning committee. We just haven't sworn him in yet.
Okay, let's swear him
If we do it real slow, maybe Nicole will be here by the time we're done.
Okay.
I'm slow.
Right up here?
Okay. So this is I always try to say small parts so you can repeat after me and you don't have to remember too much at once.
Okay.
Raise your right hand. Repeat after me. I, and state your name,
I, Thomas Price,
do solemnly swear that I will support the Constitution
do solemnly swear that I support the Constitution
and laws of the state of Washington,
and laws of the state of Washington,
and the Constitution and laws
and the Constitution and laws
of the United States of America,
of the United States of America,
and that I will faithfully and impartially
and that I will faithfully and impartially
perform and discharge the duties
perform and discharge the duties
of the Vader City Planning Committee
of the Vader City Planning Committee
of the City of Vader, Washington,
of the City of Vader, Washington,
according to law and the best of my ability, so help me God.
according to law and the best of my ability, so help me God. Thank you.
We'll have you sign that up.
Am I good? You want to sign?
Oh, you gotta sign this.
Yeah.
We came completely unprepared.
Thank you.
All yours.
Thank you for volunteering your time.
Oh, yeah, no, I'm excited for it. So thanks for considering me and approving me.
Well, I wasn't on the council then, so I won't take the credit for it, but Randy was. And Mike, yeah, I forget Mike's on there. Hi, Mike.
Aye.
And next part of city business was to approve Nicole. Obviously, she's not here yet, so that can happen at a later time. Moving on to item number 4, council discussion regarding the city speed limits, in particular Alpine Court. I believe the email was forwarded to city council by a concerned citizen about the speed limits. In our city code, it does not actually specify a city street limit, but of course you can have them posted. They don't have to be in code. There is one spot in code that talks about parks, and you're not supposed to drive faster than 15 miles an hour in a park. So I believe city speed limits are they 20 or 25?
On the side streets?
Yeah.
I thought they were.
I mean, are they? I can't even recall if it's posted. But,
I think it's 25.
But
School zones are 20,
right.
so I think it's, yeah.
So the person in Alpine Court was asking for a slower speed, especially since it's a dead end, with cul-de-sac and kids are always playing on it. So it was something for council to bounce around and think about a little bit if we wanted to talk about having a slower speeds.
Well, there are a few culprits that are speeding down 9th and 10th. Some of them coming from Alpine Court. I've even complained about the post office van to the post office. And they told me, oh, they brought it up in GPS. Well, we don't see where they're speeding. But I know they were. She drives like a maniac.
I get that, the middle lady.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know, she's crazy.
And
Right.
I don't know what else to do. I went to the post office and complained, and they brought it up on his computer, GPS, well, I don't see it. They covered it up, pretty much.
Well, honestly, I mean, go to the expense and the time and trouble to change it on one street, which that street is pretty short. So, I mean, because I did read the post that the lady was talking about the speeding UPS driver. And I mean, I don't think the UPS truck can go 0 to 60 and that short of
It's a short
I mean,
road.
it's a short road. So, I mean, I think she probably, she's a mother and she's worried about her kids, understandable. But to post a sign on that short of road, and if we do that, what's that gonna do? I mean,
Right,
everybody knows that they need to go slow in town, but that doesn't mean they do.
Is that what's
Just
happening?
another reason to have our own police. Hey, Mike, come on in.
Oh, thanks.
Sorry, I had to mute you. You were battling around in your car, I think.
So, I mean, when I have people on my street, and there's a couple that are habitual about it, I have reported it myself several times. My husband's reported it, and we have had a sheriff in the past talk to one particular person about it. But
I think on some of our narrow roads, if you were to actually, go out there and drive 25 miles an hour on one of those roads, you probably feel, and from the outside observer, look like you're going pretty fast.
Yeah, that's true.
On some of our roads. So, I think council should.
We had this conversation a couple years ago. We did.
Well,
I brought it up for,
In front of the park, we're talking about, in the church, we're talking about speed bumps for a while.
yeah, we were talking about 10th Street because it's so narrow.
And 9 is a problem as well. It's wider, but
And there's really, I mean, there's
it's the same
East
offense.
Street.
It's the same
It's the
offense.
only wide street in town, really, is, yeah, D. But I've tried driving 25 and it's uncomfortable. And I usually don't get uncomfortable driving, but in these roads, yeah, I know, right?
On the freeway.
I was
I don't know what
in Puyallup when this,
what the solution would be. I mean, if we change it to say 10 or 15 or whatever, you can change it and put one every block a speed limit sign, but if there's no consequences and we can't enforce anything, then
Well, I mean, we would probably not put it on every street. We'd
I
probably
know.
put it maybe on entrances in and out of town on the highway, we could say, city, all side city streets are
Oh, for
this,
sure,
and then it would cover everything.
Well, how offensive are speed bumps?
Our speed bumps,
No, if we put them in, I think that would help.
it could.
Cool.
You know? What do you think about it?
I don't like speed bumps.
Who does?
Yeah, just because they're annoying, and then you've got, somebody tried putting speed bumps on that street years ago, and the fire department got all upset about it.
That's true.
So, I don't know, if you're in the back of an ambulance, do you want to go over a speed bump?
And honestly, you have to think about like people going over speed bumps or what they're driving. I mean, like if you say have a car that's $200 and you don't care how you drive it, the speed bump isn't going to slow you down.
No, it's just
Or
speed
if you have a
up.
jacked up truck, whatever, a speed bump isn't going to slow you down.
Pastor Durham, I think, made a comment saying that he thinks the speed bumps that we're talking about putting over by the park would have been considered a challenge to some people that drive through there.
Yeah.
Catch some air. So,
Yeah, exactly. Ooh, let's see. That's true. I never thought of that either.
so I mean, the city could lower its side street limit, and then it would just be enforceable. I believe the sheriff's department would enforce a slower speed limit if we had it posted correctly. Is that correct?
Right, again, just like Ms. Charlton said, obviously, if we're not there and don't see it, it's not gonna happen. Right.
And if we're only going to have 12 hours a week, I don't foresee that happening. No offense.
Different topic.
I know, but I'm just throwing that in there because it all comes back to the law and who's going to enforce it. I think I think it will be helpful to some people when they see that sign. I mean, like people who aren't from here.
I'd like to think
maybe
commercial
also
drivers, like
commercial
the
drivers,
UPS.
yeah, for sure. Maybe they'll go, hey, someone's going to put it in, to my boss. I mean, I think it will maybe deter some people. I say we do it.
Okay, well, we can look into the right way to doing it, and
Yeah.
we'll bring the paperwork to you.
What do you think, Randy? Yeah.
Okay. All right, moving on to public comment. Any members of the public have anything tonight?
As a member of the public, I'd like to say I'm in full support of dropping down the speed limit at least 5. Even with the stop sign that has been put in at the intersection, cars still fly through that, like,
Right.
yeah, I mean.
They don't even slow down at ours. Like I said,
Yeah.
most people in our neighborhood actually stop, but there are a few that just.
Yeah, we have more people who normally would just plow right through, actually pretend to kind of stop.
Oh, I don't even
So that is appreciated, but I mean, we get people going 45, 50 sometimes, I swear, just like running and racing and leaving burnout marks in front of my house. So it's frustrating.
We had another apparently truck fly up the hill today and turn the corner and go into the field up here again.
Really?
I don't know their names.
Olson's, Flynn's?
Yeah, Olson's field. Right when they turned to go west side, they,
Missed.
and I think the truck was stolen, I guess, is what the rumor I heard, because it didn't have any plates. They're fork fence. They just got it fixed and now, well, it's a different spot, I guess.
All right. Well, any elected official comments tonight? All right, this meeting is adjourned at 6:28 PM. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.